Yes, welcome to Christadelphia. You are now in tune on the one, the force itself, at this time. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step to, but I'm back, seen, and the light's still green. Today's message is brought to you today by the Jade Stone and the green light. So that is the Jade Stone in the Buddha's hands today. Okay? They say the Buddha gained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. So, I chose to come back to the Bodhi tree to reason with I brethren and sistren on a very sensitive topic matter, but listen, I gotta tell you guys before I even get deeper into this reasoning session. Today's topic is called sexually transmitted demons. So I have to tell you guys before I get further, if you enjoy having sex like a regular human being, which we all love to do, I want to let you know now that you're going to look at sex totally different after this reason session. And to some, I might be just talking to the choir or preaching to the choir. You already know. But we were never taught true sexual education. We all know about sexually transmitted diseases. And I'm not going to reason with you guys on that today. You should have been paying attention in health class in school. For those, that's common sense sexual education. But today we're going to be talking about sexually transmitted demons, another type of STD that a lot of people are not aware of, because you could be walking around clean and free from sexually transmitted diseases and still be positive for a sexually transmitted demon. Now, sex is a very, very metaphysical event, or there is a science or metaphysics to sexual intercourse that most people have not been educated on. And what people are doing today is just pretty much smashing or fucking, whatever terminology they call it in the hood. See? You know, but in ancient times, our ancestors knew the science of what they call today sexual intercourse and the science of procreation. When we were giving birth to children, we knew to do it at a certain time, on a certain day, burning certain scents, making sure that the stars are aligned so that they can manifest the child that they're looking for. There was a science to giving birth to gods. There was also a science that was manipulated to give birth to lower beings, or lower vibrational beings, or demons. And so we knew the science of procreation, and we used it for good. And we also used that same science in reverse and gave birth to some really disagreeable beings. And today we still suffer from the karma of that. But that was a whole nother reasoning session. So when you have sexual intercourse with a person, and you are exchanging fluids, bodily fluids, you are exchanging a whole lot of shit that you probably wouldn't want to exchange if you knew what it was that you were exchanging. See? And listen here, I'm not trying to destroy anybody's sex life. I know a lot of people going to hate me after this, but I have to let you know, I had to reason with you guys, man. This is just reasoning. I ain't even going to go deep because I don't want to scare nobody away, okay? Now, but there are beings or entities that come to your bed when you have sex, y'all. You might not see them, but they're there. There are beings that totally feed off of sexual energy. So our ancestors knew that even when we had sex, that you would place certain stones or certain roots, or you would shield the area or the environment and bless the environment that you were going to have intercourse in. See? Now that might seem weird in today's culture. You bring a girl home and you know what I mean, you saging it up and all that, and you know, putting crystals under the mattress, and she looking at you like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just blessing the sanctuary. She's gonna be like, yo, this dude is weird, you know what I mean? You know, unless you're, you know, dealing with a sister that might be awakened, you know. Trust me, guys, fellas, I know, for you fellas that are truly awakened, you know that enlightenment is a lonely tribe. You already know. Especially when you start to see sex with your third eye open, you know, you start to look at certain women and say, you know what, I'm cool. You see past all of the booty and the beauty from the cutie, and you start to see energies and entities and all types of things, you know. Now that, I never asked for my third eye to be open that much, but be careful what you ask for, fellas. Gotta laugh and make it a little funny, you know what I mean? Because this shit is deep, y'all. Now, back to the sexually transmitted demons. It's pretty much simple. It's similar to sexually transmitted diseases. You know, if you are having sex with a person who has entities attached to them, or what they call attached spirits, these spirits will attach to your aura field. They will grab one of your chakras and clamp onto you. Also, you know, I'm not going to get all into the science of how you're having sex with everybody that they exchange fluids with, you know, but I would love for you guys to check out the video called Genetic Kiss. There was a scroll from Dr. York back in the day called Genetic Kiss, and they put out a CD, audio CD about Genetic Kiss. And after I engaged myself in that information, it was pretty hard for me to have sex after that point, you know, because my mind was open, you know. But being young and horny, I had to be honest with you guys. You know, I kind of try to put some of that information under the rug and try to act like I didn't know and be a regular guy, you know what I mean? But even after, you know, watching Genetic Kiss, it was hard for me to engage with a woman, and I was celibate for a while, you know. Yes, I'm not ashamed to say, yes, I practice celibacy sometimes to cleanse myself, and, you know, because I'm an empathic being and I absorb a lot, you know, so sometimes I gotta fall back and fast from the booty, you know what I mean? But not for a lifetime, you know, I'm not a monk. But anyway, so when you first of all, when you marry someone, you know, the metaphysics of marry, or you know, that if you want to deal with the etymology of it, excuse me, is when you marinate and become one. Marinate the fluids. When your fluids marinate with someone else's, and y'all have a marriage. You know, they say Adam laid with his wife, and they became one flesh. See, when you start to intertwine DNA and blood and those things, you start to become one flesh. Especially if you have a child with that individual, you become one flesh. See, so I'm gonna keep it light, but those beings that come to your bed when you're having sex, they're coming to suck energy from you, you know. So you have to make sure that you are guarding yourself from those sexual empires. Excuse me, I said empires. Sexual vampires, you know. And I'm not even talking about the vampire you actually might be having sex with. So it's a whole lot to think about. I'm here just to let you know that, you know, you can still partake in sex. You just have to guard yourself and protect yourself, because there's a whole lot of entities out there to feed off of that sexual energy, you know. So you have the attached spirit aspect, because people do have entities and spirits attached to them. And then, you know, you have the DNA swapping thing going on, which I really don't want to get to. I'm not going to reason on that one too deep, because it would take up too much time, and it would spook the fuck out of you. So that's why I say, you know what, don't even listen to me. Go check out Genetic Kiss for that aspect. You know, I'm just here to let you know that you can guard your environment. You can protect yourself from these vampires. As you see, I just pulled out a piece of garlic. I keep garlic all in my room, and all, you know, close to where I sleep, to keep vampires away. There are gemstones, there are crystals, there are many methods of protecting yourself. A lot of people talk about spirituality, but they don't get into psychic self-defense. And just as people practice martial arts and boxing and all of these other things, there is an art to defending your aura field from entities and beings who want to suck you like sequoia. You understand what I say? You know what I mean? And a lot of people, conscious or unconsciously, can have a vampire-like energy on you. So if you are a person who is promiscuous and has sex with multiple individuals, make sure that you keep cleansing yourself, keep taking spirit baths, keep knocking those beings off of your aura field. See, another thing, when you start to find yourself and, you know, reach and communicate with your higher self, and your crowns start to, you know, open up like a lotus, try to have sex with people who are spiritually connected to you. Make sure it's a spiritual intertwinement and not just a physical bang bang bang. Now when you're young, I understand, brethren, you just want a biggity bang bang bang, you know what I mean? But the more you awaken yourself and, you know, activate your highest potential, you will start to care less about the bang bang and be more yearning for a more spiritual connection. See, you know, to be equally yoked, as the Christians would say. Because when you have sex with people who are not on the path per se, they can actually, you know, mess with your subtle body energies, and then you start to intertwine karma and all these other things. So you have to protect yourself, you know what I mean? Not just condoms and, you know, things to keep you protected from sexually transmitted disease. You got to go even deeper than that now. Well, you always did. I can't even have to say now. You understand why the Buddha had to leave? You know, the enlightened ones say, yo, I gotta leave. I gotta go to the wilderness for a second and cleanse myself. You know, the Buddha left his wife and child to go find enlightenment. You know what I mean? So it was a moment where the Buddha said, I ain't even worried about sex right now. I'm just trying to reach enlightenment. You dig what I'm saying? And he found the middle path. He dealt with a lot of extremities. He went to the left, he went to the right side of the scales, and, you know, he found that middle path, you know? So it's not about being a monk and being celibate and sitting around and not having sex at all. It's about balance, see? And fellas, make sure you ain't spilling all of your chi force out, you know? Save some of that, build it up, you know, and use some of that chi energy to make things manifest, and use it for your spiritual practice. When you take that sexual orgone energy, or what today's scientists call orgone, because orgone is the strongest force on this planet, the strongest energy. You got electric and all these other different ways of producing energy, but orgone, or what they call orgone, which is just a more modern terminology for an ancient understanding, is the creative force. That is the force itself here in this plane. So know that. You hear me say, you are now in tune on the one, the force itself at this time, a lot in my reasoning sessions. So that force is what they call today orgone, you know. So I use their terminology so that people can Google this information, but, you know, it's deeper than the terminology itself, because all these people do is keep putting new terminologies on old ancient understandings or understandings. See? So make sure that you really check out the people that you're being intimate with. And another thing, you know, for those who like to eat the poom poom and go down there and feast, you know, when you are down there feasting on a woman, know that there is still residual biological material in her from her last male partner that you're eating. And there's a whole lot of, especially if she doesn't drink a lot of water. It's very important for women to drink a lot of water to cleanse the yoni, you know what I mean? Because if you go down there and you start eating up and she's not a big water drinker, you're eating all of those toxins and, you know, stuff that she's flushing out her system is just going straight into you. So it's a whole lot of stuff that I don't even really want to spook you guys out with, but I just had to give you just a little hint, you know, just touch it a little bit, you know what I mean, just so that you can not be scared, but no, be cautious and be careful and protect yourself, you know what I mean? Because, you know, you end up being involved with somebody and then you wondering why your whole subtle body seems like it's flipped upside down. So, you know, another thing you could do, come to an area with running water preferably a river. This is not a river, this is a little creek right here, but and stand by the river and absorb that energy from the running water, and sage or frankincense yourself, and say some prayers of cleansing, and to detach the energies that might be attached to your subtle body, and also to detach and block any psychic attack or negative thought forms sent your way, because people are constantly sending negative thought forms, consciously or unconsciously, and we create our own negative thought forms ourselves, from negative thinking. We all do. I do. So we create negative thought forms all the time. So we have to make sure that we're protecting ourselves from even our own thought forms, and not just the psychic attack, the thought forms that other people send you. Another thing, when you lay with a person and you exchange fluids, their thoughts on you can actually affect you. They don't need to pick up a voodoo doll and stab it up or do whatever. That shit you see on TV. Thought form, just thinking about you in a negative or positive way, can even affect your day. You know what I mean? Because you are connected on a whole nother level. And yes, at times you might even have to take spirit baths and even have an ether cord ritual to cut your etheric cord that you might have with that person, because it could be toxic to your well-being. No matter how much you might love that person, if you want to have an etheric cord, make sure that it's connected to the mother, Un Ama, or who they call Un Ama too. Make sure that your etheric cord is connected to Mother Earth, not connected to the people that we love. Even though how much you love them, we have to learn how to detach ourselves. And detachment is hard, and enlightenment can be lonely. But if there's something you want to attach yourself to the source itself and the force itself, and you will be guided and protected. And for those brothers who are into certain ceremonies and practices and rituals, you might find yourself being protected from people that you might actually want to lay with. You're like, damn, man, I was trying to get with. Sometimes, if things don't work out with you and another person, it's probably because you're protected, not because, you just can't get laid. So that might be some clarity for some other spiritual brothers who's sitting there like, damn, man, I was trying to bag shorty, but it just seemed like everything be blocking it. That is your ancestors and your guides trying to save you from something that you don't know. So sometimes you gotta let it go. So spirituality is amazing, and the Creator does have a sense of humor. You might think something is being a cock block, and it might actually be an angel saying, hold up, leave that person alone. So make sure that you're listening to your intuition, your inner self, and protecting yourself from these entities, sexual vampires, and all these other attached spirits, and on and on and on and on. So you do your own research. I don't want to sit here and give you a lecture. You are now in tune on the One, the Force itself, at this time.